Welcome to this week's edition of Leading with Confidence. My name is Confidence Sileme and I'm your host. This program is proudly powered by the William Sileme Foundation, and the foundation's mission is enabling education in Africa. This week I'd like us to discuss a topic I've titled Stand Up and Serve. Stand Up and Serve. And we're going to be looking at a couple of leaders who have made the decision to stand up and serve their generation. In the previous episode, we studied Oprah Winfrey and discussed the impact that she has had on her generation. So I want us to take a close look at some of the deeds, attitudes, and outcomes of these leaders so that we may get a sense of what their leadership recipe is. These leaders are not saints, they are fallible and they've made their mistakes, but they've also impacted their world in an amazing way. My friend and mentor Tlas Muswane wrote an incredible book titled Salt of the Earth, in which he extrapolates the many qualities of salt, one of which is how it is able to bring out the flavor in various dishes. This speaks of the positive influence that we must have on society. As a leader, you must have a positive impact on your world. Much like how salt brings out the best in the dishes into which it is poured, your environment, organization, country, and so forth must become better because you are in it. The leaders we'll discuss in this episode are truly salt as they have influenced their worlds so powerfully. Many of them come from obscure backgrounds and defied various odds and challenges in order to become pioneers and lifters of those they've served. Here's that word again, serve. That's the common quality that these leaders share. They've all served and continue to serve humanity with their vision and gifts. They have chosen to stand, serve, and be counted as true leaders. Those who stand up and serve see further. When you're in a room and everybody is sitting down, if you decide to stand up, you'll be able to see further than those who have chosen to simply sit. One of the icons and leaders of our time is Nido Qubein, an American Lebanese Jordanian businessman and motivational speaker. His story is exemplary of what is possible when an individual desires to venture with vision, faith, and confidence into the unknown. Born in 1948, Qubein was the youngest of 5 children. He went to the United States as a teenager armed with big dreams and only $50 in his pocket. He knew very little English and he had to start at the very bottom. In his talks, he often relates how he taught himself English by writing down new words to learn on small cards. He would repeat the words, learning their meaning, and over time, he became more proficient in the language. When you take the step of self-development, your life begins taking a turn for the better. Self-development allows you to develop other areas in your life as well. From barely being able to speak English, Qubein has gone on to acquire several qualifications, including an associate's degree in business, a bachelor's degree in human relations, a Master of Science in Business, as well as an honorary Doctor of Letters in Humanity degree. He has achieved great success not only in academia, but in business as well. He is a chairman of one of the premier speaking bodies in the world, the National Speakers Association. He also serves on several boards, including BB&T, Lazy Boy Corporation, and is chairman of the Great Harvest Bread Company. But perhaps his most notable position is that of president of High Point University. Since taking over the reins in 2005, the university has grown exponentially. He has tripled the number of faculty and traditional undergraduate enrollment, and it has added 4 new academic schools. The impact of his leadership has been immense, and the university, its students, and the USA as a whole have benefited from his great sense of vision. He chose to stand up and serve, and because of that, he could see further and now is able to take others to the place he has seen. Qubein has been inducted into the International Speaker Hall of Fame, and he has received numerous other honors. When you decide to stand up and serve, you will attract much honor and acclaim. It is a natural result and reward for living a life of purpose and significance. Those who stand up and serve become pioneers. To stand up is to beat the uncharted path and create a trail which others can follow. It is to be a pioneer. One such pioneer whose contribution to the speaking industry helped revolutionize it is Cavett Robert. One of his famous quotes is, True progress in any field is a relay race and not a single event, close quote. For those who speak professionally on a full-time basis, that statement rings very true. Cavett was born in Mississippi in 1907 and graduated from Mississippi University with a BA and BS degree. He went on to become a teacher, but was convinced to go study law in Virginia. He practiced law for 30 years before going on to become a judge. For health reasons, Cavett and his wife decided to move to warmer Arizona, where he began working for a law firm. He was then hired by the Arizona Edison Power Company to travel around their cities as a public relations representative, speaking to various NGOs, churches, Chamber of Commerce, as well as Toastmasters clubs. Speaking and the art of communication had always been a passion of his. Surprisingly though, he had a fear of public speaking, and so early in his law career, he took the Dale Carnegie course designed to help people become more proficient at presenting and public speaking. He took it a step further and joined Toastmasters International, and he ended up winning the International Speaking Contest. After receiving some prestigious accolades, including the Golden Gavel Award, he started receiving speaking invitations from various organizations and began traveling around the country to speak. It was around this time that he decided he wanted to help more people develop their public speaking ability and by so doing, grow the professional speaking industry. It would not be an easy journey, as only 3% of organizations at that time used the services of professional speakers, and so he was met with some hostility from the established players. Ever the philosopher, Cavett is quoted as saying, "Don't worry about how we divide up the pie. There is enough for everybody. Let's just make a bigger pie," close quote. Through his tireless efforts to foster ethics and high standards, Cavett helped create an industry boom, and he pioneered the notion of speaking as a full-time profession. Today, he is regarded as a pioneer in the speaking field and is widely celebrated. He chose to stand up and make a meaningful contribution, and that decision edged him into the history books. One of his other famous quotes says, "If it's to be, it's up to me," close quote. Indeed, if we're to become successful leaders, it's up to us. We can choose to either stand up, serve and become pioneers, or we can remain seated and disappear as unknowns into the annals of history. Stand up and chart new paths. Throughout history, there have been men and women who have made it their mission to stand up and push humanity into new dimensions. These are inventors and explorers who merge imagination with possibility to create new realities. One such pioneer in our generation is the South African-born American entrepreneur Elon Musk. As a youngster, his parents and doctors ordered that he be tested to check his hearing because he would get lost in his daydreams about inventions. Society often looks with strange eyes at those who are extraordinary. Perhaps people think that you are weird and maybe you don't really feel like you fit in with the crowd. That may be an indication that you have a special gifting and you look at things differently from everybody else. It is those who see and think differently that end up changing things and transforming how the world operates. Don't stop being a dreamer simply because your dreaming seems to make you an outcast. Elon Musk's parents divorced when he was about 10 years old, and it was around this time that he developed an interest in computers and began teaching himself how to program, even selling his first software, a game called Blaster, when he was 12. There are many people who wait to get assistance before they decide to stand up and move on their dreams. Let the help find you already up and running. You must take the initiative if you want to become impactful. It's your dream, it's your passion. You must make the moves. You must take the first step if you want to get there. It is also said that he was bullied until he was 15 years old. This prompted him to take on karate and wrestling, and he equipped himself with the tools needed to protect himself. The areas in which we are challenged in life are opportunities for us to develop new skills so that we may get equipped to meet those challenges. You can either run away from the challenges or you can equip yourself to combat them. If you run away, you may spend your whole life on the run and never realize that what you have been running from has actually been an opportunity for you to get tougher and stronger in that particular area in your life. Musk achieved multimillionaire status in his late 20s, and he has founded a string of successful companies including the likes of PayPal, SpaceX, and Tesla Motors. In 2012, he made headlines when SpaceX launched a rocket that would send the first commercial vehicle to the International Space Station, and he took on an advisory role in the early days of President Donald Trump's administration. When you choose to stand up, take your dreams on and serve humanity, opportunities begin hunting you down. Your influence will increase and you'll go from one level to the next. In Elon Musk's case, you might even reach Mars. Opportunity and purpose. Among the many heroes who have emerged from our beautiful continent of Africa is Dr. Mo Ibrahim, a truly inspirational figure who has made a great impact on the continent and its people. Trained as an electrical engineer, the Sudanese-born entrepreneur founded Celtel International, a mobile services provider which became one of the largest on the African continent. Purpose and opportunity are related, and if you can spot the opportunity and employ your skills and talents appropriately, you are likely to meet with your purpose. In Dr. Ibrahim's case, he realized during the late 1990s that there was a lack of a pan-African mobile phone network, and he subsequently created MSI Cellular Investments, which sometime later became Celtel International. So you have to spot the opportunity and make use of it, because you may find that there is a direct correlation between that opportunity and your purpose. What opportunities exist in your current environment? Many people like to say that they are waiting for opportunity, and they fail to realize that opportunity abounds everywhere. There isn't a country on earth where there is a lack of opportunity. Even in the poorest communities, there are opportunities for people to become successful. Many times, it depends on your views and perspectives. Many people do not spot opportunity because they are looking at it through the wrong lens. I'm reminded of a story I heard about two American students who visited India during one of their semester breaks. When they got there, they were amazed at what they saw. There were thousands upon thousands of poor people who lived in horrible conditions. Many were in the streets barefoot and begging for money and morsels of food just so that they could survive. The two students looked at the same crowd of people, but they saw different things. One looked and only saw the poverty, but the other looked and he saw something else beyond the poverty. He saw opportunity. He saw people who needed quality, low-cost shoes. And when they went back to the United States, he began working on the design for those shoes. He believed in the idea so much that he dropped out of school to pursue it. He became a multimillionaire, and the reason was that he was able to spot the opportunity, an opportunity that many others had looked at but had not seen. Ethical and moral boundaries protect your purpose. The fulfillment of purpose also requires that you set up some boundaries. Purpose that is devoid of sound moral and ethical footing will not stand the test of time. You must protect your purpose by setting up certain boundaries. If you study people who are really effective, you will discover that they set boundaries to protect their purpose. They live focused lives because they know and believe that they have value and significance. If you do not set up boundaries to protect your purpose, you endanger your purpose. Ethical and moral boundaries are extremely important if you wish to protect your purpose and safeguard your legacy. In the case of Dr. Mo Ibrahim, he instituted a no-bribe policy in his company. He didn't just want to build a powerful and profitable organization, he wanted to build an ethically and morally sound organization too. In fulfilling your purpose, you'll have to make decisions regarding your moral and ethical boundaries. Yes, such boundaries protect what you build, and they enable it to stand strong and stand for long. One of the things I admire about Dr. Mo Ibrahim is the way he has shifted his focus and channeled his energy towards philanthropic work. He does this primarily through the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, which has a strategic aim of improving governance in Africa. He is also a supporter of Broadband Commission for Digital Development, a United Nations initiative created with the aim of spreading the benefits of broadband services to unconnected people. In some respects, standing up and being of service to others is also a selfish act. Why do I say that? Because when you serve other people, you also get personal fulfillment out of it. There is a joy to be derived from helping other people succeed and improve their lives. Simply put, by helping others, you also help yourself. The most miserable people in the world are those who are selfish and only interested in their own well-being. Such a life is suffocating and has little meaning. True purpose is in doing something that is bigger than you. It is in adding value not only to your own life, but the lives of those you are able to help through your gifts and resources. One of the ways you'll know you've discovered your purpose is when what you are doing reaches beyond you. Many people get stuck looking in the mirror, and they never look through the window to see those that need them. Discover something bigger than yourself, and you invest yourself into it. You will lead a more fulfilled and more productive life. Don't sit down on your purpose. Each of us walking this earth have a choice as to whether to stand and serve or to sit down on your gifts and talents. In my talks on personal and leadership development, I like to use a chair as a prop, and when I speak about gifts and talents, I'll sit on that chair to illustrate how many people treat their gifts and talents. They simply sit on what God has given them. Are you such a person? Have you simply chosen to sit on your gifts and talents? Have you chosen to sit on your influence? Sit on the impact you were created to make. Sit on the wealth you have the potential to create. Sit on the purpose you were designed to fulfill. Sit on your leadership potential. What are you sitting on? It's time to stand up and serve. It's time to stand up and be counted as someone who makes a difference in their community, their organization, their country, and their world. It's time to stand up because it is only when you choose to stand up that you can begin making strides. It is when you choose to stand up that you'll become a leader and influence your generation and the generations to follow. Well, we've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Leading with Confidence. Cheers.